wanted to take the time to do an introduction to this channel. As you can see, it used to be a fake Grand Order rolling gotcha channel. I didn't post a lot, as you can see, but I was trying to re-establish this as something that I can do as kind of like a fun part-time hobby outside of my, full-time office soul crushing job. So I figured I'd start with a brief introduction video and just tell you everybody about myself, what they should expect, what I want to talk about. I want to talk about a lot of things. Mostly it's going to be movies and maybe anime, maybe manga, maybe TV shows, maybe video games, but just to give you guys a little bit of an about me, about who I am. So I am a Brody. I am 32 years old. I am a woman. I live in New England and I live with 5 dogs, 2 cats, a husband named Andrew, who I've been with for 12 years. So I'll probably talk about him a lot. Um, my daughter, who is 14, and then lizards, ducks, chickens, fish, all kinds of fun. So you'll probably hear them every now and again. I might show them. I don't know. I have 3 German shepherds, a corgi, and a French bulldog. They bark a lot. They never shut the fuck up, basically. Um, so that is kind of my living situation. I work a full-time job, so that's why I said this is going to be more like a fun little part-time hobby where I can come in and talk about stuff that I like. So right off the bat, I just want to say that I'm a huge horror movie fan. I love horror movies, especially bad horror movies. Bad horror movies are kind of my thing. There's a joke between Andrew and I that when we're picking out a movie to watch, it'll be like, this looks really bad, so it's right up your alley. And that's just like so true king. Like that's literally who I am. I don't I'm not really like I like just bad horror movies. They're my thing. They're what gives me life. Like I think that in order to appreciate good things, you have to also appreciate the bad things that are out there. Like you're not gonna appreciate like fucking the substance if you don't appreciate like rubber. Movies are there to be fun and be creative. And a bad horror movie still has a lot of things to say, even if it's bad. Like The Green Inferno, right? For example, it's an Eli Roth movie that is not good by any metric, but it does have things to say about like, you know, people in first world civilizations coming in and thinking that they're going to help all these, you know, uh, tribesmen and women that live in the deep jungle to try to make them like, you know, civilized, I guess is the word. I just think everything has something to say. I'm not a believer. I don't believe in that media has nothing to say ever. Even the bad stuff has things to say. It's just, do you want to take the time to try to dissect like what the themes are in The Strangers Chapter 2? No, because the movie's not good. So why are you going to waste your time? So my stance on movies is I used to be one of those pretentious douchebags who would try to always dissect the themes and the subtext and everything of movies and shows and anime and all that kind of stuff and be like, snarky about it. But as I've gotten older, I don't know. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I want to enjoy things. Like there is the Morbid Zoo, if you're familiar with her YouTube channel, she has this whole thing in her recent Silent Hill movie that's like it's a square, and in the square, there's the 4 quadrants, and it goes good movie, I liked it, bad movie, I liked it, good movie, I didn't like it, bad movie, I didn't like it. And I think that is probably the most aligned for my personal view on, excuse me, consuming media is, do I like it? Then yes, I like it. Whatever. It could be the worst thing in the world, and I could still like it and have fun with it. Like I love bad movies. Bad movies are just the thing that makes me happiest. And bad horror movies in particular, which I've already said. So it's not to say that I'm like, media illiterate or whatever the kids say nowadays. trying to make themselves feel better. It's just that I want to have fun watching movies. If you sit there and just like be pretentious about it, you're not gonna have fun. I don't really think that you need to be an art snob to enjoy anything in this world. It's up to the consumer. I also don't do the whole I don't like something because or I someone if someone doesn't like something it's because I think they didn't get it. I think that's a cop out that a lot of people use. And this is just my kind of like philosophy when it comes to in consuming art is I think everybody gets something on some level. It's a cop out to say it just because someone didn't like something, you didn't get it. You'll never hear me say that. I might just say that cheekily to be like, "Oh, you just didn't, you didn't get it, so that's why you don't like it. It's just so beyond your realm of comprehension, obviously." So that's kind of my approach to media consumption. I more just like to have fun with it. I think I have a lot more fun just talking about movies with people than trying to sit here and dissect everything about it. That's just not who I am anymore. It used to be, and it's kind of I find it to be an exhausting way to consume things. And maybe your thought right now is, oh, such a juvenile view of things that you just don't want to think critically. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is I just like to have fun with things. So I guess I should go and talk about some of my favorite movies. I'll be real with you. My movie favorites switch all the time. Ask me tomorrow what my favorite movie is, and I'll tell you something different. Right now, I've been thinking about The Exorcist 3, and The Exorcist 3 is a phenomenal movie that everybody should watch. And it's not really an Exorcist movie. It was a movie that was filmed, which was originally going to be called Legion, I believe. And then, The Exorcist was popular and you had this IP, so what are you gonna do with it? You're gonna slap it on the name of some movie that might not even be, that is a non sequitur to the entire thing that's going on. And especially because The Exorcist 2 bombed. So The Exorcist 3 is like probably my favorite movie at this moment. If you would have asked me last week, I probably would have said like Red Dragon. And if you asked me the week before that, I probably would have said like The Third Nightmare on Elm Street. My likes for things changes fairly rapidly, especially for movies. I I don't think I have a top 10. I have a top 10 of not rating that doesn't change, a top 10 of things that I like at that very moment. In terms of TV shows, I'm a little bit more solid on because I don't really watch TV shows very often. It takes a lot for me to watch a TV show. I love The Office, so I watch The Office almost every night because it's one of the only things on TV that's good background noise. I mean, I'm not gonna watch like Fox News, so um, I put that on. I must have seen The Office like 50 times through. I've seen The Office so many times that I don't remember seeing things in The Office. And I'll probably do an Office tier list or something at some point, just because I've seen it so much. I will always maintain the opinion that Jim and Pam are the worst people, some of the worst people in The Office. Jan is the best character in The Office. I will not change. You are not changing my opinion on that. She is misunderstood queen. Jan Levinson she deserves so much better than The Office. Um, and I think Jim is one of the worst people in The Office. I think he is a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He is the bad guy. He's just like one of the point of view characters, so of course you think he's like the good guy. Maybe I'll talk more about that later. I don't know. I don't like Jim or Pam. That's the more I watch The Office, the more I dislike them, and especially because I've gotten older. I don't like them very much. Moral Oral. So I am a big Moral Oral stan. Clay Puppington is my Pookie. I will not stand for Clay Puppington slander. He is not a good person, but I can fix him. Energy with that one. I love Moral Oral. I love Toucan Birdie. Birdie Roberta Songthrush is literally me in a nutshell. And then I also like Broad City. So again, I'm not like these are just Western TV shows. I'm not really a one that watches a lot of TV shows. I did watch the new Smiling Friends. I love Smiling Friends. I also watched the new one Uncommon Side Effects, which is really good. It's really good so far. The art style is a little ugly. It took a while to grow on me, but it did after a while. I just like the story. I highly recommend it if you're someone who is kind of into that whole pharma industry stuff. It's really interesting. I like Marshall, he's a good guy, and I love his turtle. And Frances is, problematic queen in there. And then I also like anime. So I don't really watch a lot of anime anymore. It's just not, it's just too time consuming, honestly. I read a lot more manga. I'm much more likely to read a manga. For anime, though, I like Jujutsu Kaisen, even though I think it's incredibly mid. I've read all the manga for that one, so that's why I have that opinion. And ask me about Jujutsu Kaisen sometime. I'm not going to go into it right now because this would become really long. But I love Gojo. He's my king. Wow, so shocking. Oh, a woman who likes Gojo. It's so revolutionary. Not like other girls over here. I like Yu-Gi-Oh! I like Yu Yu Hakusho, Digimon. I like Pokemon. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of anime. Those are just the ones that come to mind right away. Like I said, I don't really watch anime anymore. You're more likely to find me reading a manga. So I read Chainsaw Man weekly at this moment. But I'm always looking for new manga to read. I read The Summer Hikaru Died. I didn't watch the anime. Oh, I love Higurashi too. That's another one. I'm a big horror fan, so obviously. But I'm much more likely to read manga. So of course the anime that I like, I've read the manga for. Uh, so if you have manga, go ahead and recommend it to me. I will say the one thing about recommending me things is I probably won't read it or watch it, but you can recommend it if you want. So another thing I like is video games. My favorite video game is Ark Survival Evolved. I play that all the time. Or Ascended, Survival Ascended. Survival game. I just finished Digimon Time Stranger, and you know, before I just did this stupid intro video, I was gonna write this whole thing about how like Digimon is actually better than Pokemon, and I probably might still do that, but I figured I'm not gonna why shoot from the moon on the first one when you can just put something out there that says this is who I am, and if you don't like it, here's the door. Most of the things here, by the way, as a non sequitur on this conversation, it's gonna be unscripted. I don't scripts are so fascist, but that's a joke. Um, but I am someone who I like just a stream of consciousness. I'm not really someone who will read a script. If I wrote one, I would probably read 40% of it, and then I would go off on my own tangents because my brain is always going. And it's not to say I can't write because I wrote anime blogs in the past and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like I can't sit down and write. I just don't want to. I think that I will have more fun doing this if it's just random stream of consciousness like this type of rambling, non-polished opinion of something. So you're going to hear me pause a lot. I have a lot of verbal pauses. And that's because I'm trying to think of my next thing. So that was that. Again, this is just a stream of consciousness. This is not written down. It's probably not going to be edited either. This is my first ever video. This is the hey, this is who I am. Again, if you don't like it, don't watch it. You don't have to. I'm not relying on people to watch this. This is just for me to get all of this energy I have inside of me out. So I'll take the time to wrap up this now that I think it's 14 minutes or something. I'll talk about some of the things I've seen recently for movies. So I recently saw Primate and I had fun with it. One thing you're gonna have to realize with me is I will always recommend something, even if it's not good. And I'm gonna tell you it's not good, but I think everybody should watch something, even if it's not good. And you can make your own decision, because even if I don't like it, you might like it. I think there's a value in telling people that, hey, I didn't like something, but you may find enjoyment in it. So I didn't like Primate. I had a lot of fun watching Primate though, so that was kind of what saved it in my mind. My biggest complaint outside of the characters being stupid, but it's a horror movie, so it's totally expected, is that it was very dark. And that's kind of a general complaint I have with movies nowadays is that they're so damn dark. You can't see anything. There's this whole reliance on natural lighting now. But you can't see anything during it and it's frustrating. So why it's bothering for this movie is because like it's a creature feature. The point of a creature feature is to watch people get destroyed by the creature. And if I can't see that happening, then why am I watching this movie? And maybe it's my TV. I don't know. I have a brand new TV. It's like 85 inches. It would be upsetting if it was because of my TV, but I also noticed this during the new I Know What You Did Last Summer during Weapons. During anything that's generally dark, I've noticed that the darkness overtakes everything and like the saturation is just off. So the blending is bad. And again, I think this is just because they've a lot of movies have gone toward a natural lighting. And that it's dark. It just makes it dark. Um, it's not very deep. It's not a very serious movie. You know, it's stupid, but it's fun. People die horribly. It's just dumb. Watch it. It's fun. I think it's fun. But I think fun is my definition of fun is like Final Destination. So speaking of that, Final Destination Bloodlines, I also saw. Again, had a lot of fun with it. Probably one of the funniest movies I've seen all year. The part where the by the way, it's all spoilers. The part where the cousin gets dumped into a trash can in the background from a garbage truck and then taken into the garbage truck is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in a movie that in a Final Destination movie. Um, I laughed for like 10 minutes straight. We had to pause the movie. It was so funny. Um, and another water break. My throat gets really dry. And then I get that vocal fry. I had a lot of fun with Bloodlines. Again, it's Final Destination. It's supposed to be stupid. Um, the point of Final Destination for me is that the deaths. So Final Destination is a mastery at suspense. You're always looking at objects on the screen to figure out what's going to be what's going to do the character in. And this one does not disappoint with that. I think it's some of the most creative deaths we've seen in a little while. Um, but yeah, I had fun with that one. Again, this is not supposed to be like this in depth little. This is just me talking about things I've seen. Um, I'm not really trying to, dig deep on these ones. Predator's Badland, I also really liked. I thought it was a solid Predator movie and a solid action movie. I know there's been some complaints online from people that are like, it's not a good Predator movie or whatever, but like, I thought it was fun. I like Deck. I want a Callus as a pet. I need a Callus as a pet actually. If I don't have one, I'm going to cry. Um, but I mean, again, people saying this because he's not a Predator movie because he gets help or they're just chuds. They just don't understand movies. I can't help it. Can't help them. Um, and then I also watched the new Strangers Chapter 2. I want to talk more about that one because that one actually really made me mad. That is a bad movie that I would not recommend anybody to watch, and I'll talk more about that maybe in another video. It's something I want to talk about. I've been thinking about The Strangers Chapter 2 a lot. And that's a lot that's funny because it's just not a good movie. Um I have also seen the new Jurassic World. Boring. I hated it. The new I Know What You Did Last Summer was so funny. I loved it. Highly recommend it. Pretty good death scenes. So there's a lot. What's coming to my mind right now for things that I've seen recently. Again, I'm not trying to like go through everything in a deeply thematic way. I'm just trying to talk briefly about things I've seen lately. Things I'm excited for. Scream 7, obviously. I'm so excited for Scream 7. Oh, I forgot to mention in the what I've recently watched. Five Nights at Freddy's too. I watched with my daughter. She's a big FNAF fan. I am not. I missed the boat on that one. I think I was just a little too old for FNAF when it came out, but she really likes FNAF, so we watched it. It's it's not a good movie. It's endlessly confusing. It doesn't make any sense. There's a ton of plot holes, so you can get all your cinema sin things out of the way. But I will say the most hilarious part is the epic Avengers assemble at the end of the original FNAF crew as they beat the new marionette and the toy animatronics. That's probably the funniest thing I've ever seen because they act like it's so hype. Like, yeah, Chica, you get it, girl. If Fox, you kill Toy Chica. It's just funny. It's so serious too, that one part. The movie itself is not very serious, which is good. But yeah, Scream 7 I am excited for. I will drag my husband, Andrew, to see Scream 7 probably tomorrow, and he's gonna hate it, and I'm going to love it because I love horror movies. What other ones? The Odyssey. I'm pretty excited for the Odyssey. I like Christopher Nolan for what it's worth. Um, and I can't think of any other ones right now. I'm sure they'll come to me. But this is already kind of long. So this is the introduction to me, who I am, my channel. Basically, I'm probably going to talk about movies, TV shows, maybe anime sometimes, manga, almost never, and video games very rarely because I don't play very many video games. Okay, so don't be mean in the comments because if you do, I'll cry and never do this again. Thanks.